The Realms of Ukador. Prologue, Chapter 1A, A Long Voyage. The ocean of storms was marked safe for traveling. Mystical beasts that had once plagued the oceans are nowhere to be found. Dozens of ships left the continent of Motul on a course for Seros. After several months of travel, the ships near the town of Edak and are beset by orcish pirates. The belly of one such ship, the Star Chaser, was filled with civilians hoping for a fresh start, among them a wood elf named Farlan, who awoke sensing something was awry. He climbed the stairs to the upper deck just as the ship was rammed by one of the pirate vessels. Tossing the crew and passengers off balance, the orcs began boarding the ship immediately. Most of the civilians huddled away from the water rushing into the lower decks, while a handful of others took to the stairs to assess the situation. Staying below, a large pale blue elvish humanoid, Barakabu, used his carpentry skills to repair the hull and stop the flooding. Above deck, the crew and some brave passengers battled the orc pirates. Farlan, now joined by his sister Venus, drew their bows and laid waste to several orcs. Uthos, a human wizard, added in the ship's defense. Amidst the furor of the battle, they noticed a large Goliath tied to the mast of the pirate ship. As the fight continued, Barakabu made his way to the upper deck. Quickly taking stock of the situation, he saw the Goliath bound upon the enemy ship and rushed to action. Dashing across the deck, he leaped from the Star Chaser to the enemy ship, but failed to account for the tumult of the sea. He made his landing but barely, falling face first prone upon the deck of the enemy ship. Awoken by the impact of the vessels, the Goliath Torque lifted his head to see the mayhem surrounding him. He seized the failed rescue attempt by the big blue humanoid and, his fighting spirit reignited, bursts free of his bindings. He takes a hold of a sword from a fallen orc and cleaves apart his captor. Back on the Storm Chaser, Tyan, the human captain, thanks the party for their help and promises them compensation. The ship finishes its journey to Edak without further incident, and there the party is introduced to the captain of the King's Guard, Dorius. He takes a liking to the unlikely group of heroes and asks their aid with additional orc attacks plaguing the town from the southeast. Seeing the profit and camaraderie of their newfound alliance, the adventurers agree to stick together for now and head towards the location of the orc fort. The group travels through the forest. Farlan notices a humanoid creature in the distance, and while attempting to get a closer look, instead alerts it to his presence. The creature charges the party, and they discover they are engaged with an adolescent troll. Attempts to placate the creature fail, as do multiple attempts to put it down. But finally Boo recalls a weakness of trolls and tosses his torch at it, murdering the confused and angry child. The helpless, innocent troll child smolders. Suddenly, a horrendous cry echoes across the mountainside. Enraged, the mother of the troll child charges forth, her eyes fixed upon Boo. The party manages to slay the grieving and violent beast, and she falls upon her child in her final moments. As the mingled corpses burn, the group continues on their path, and upon finding appropriate shelter, settles in for the night of uninterrupted rest. On final watch, as the others rest, Venus spots a mass of figures marching toward their location. She alerts the others, and they hide. The figures draw closer, and the party sees that it is about a dozen orc soldiers marching toward Edak. Uthos attempts to distract and lure the orcs away and notices another set of orc soldiers marching in the same direction. Then a third group. Utterly surrounded at this point, the group continues to hide when Torque leans against a boulder and loosens some rocks above him. Two orc soldiers come to investigate, and acting quickly, Farlan and Venus loose their bows to down one while Boo grapples the other to the ground, covering the soldier's mouth. Uthos attempts to interrogate the captive orc, but fails. Torque moves in to finish him off, but in doing so, draws the attention of the army now fully encircling the group. Farlan, speaking Orcish, demands to parley with their leader. Forward steps a shaman, smaller than the soldiers and wielding fire in his hands. He replies in Common and orders the group to release his soldier and surrender their weapons. With no other recourse, the party complies and are bound in shackles. The army leads them back to their fort, but Uthos, having remained unseen, escapes to Edak to seek help.